Battlefield 6 is full of fast-paced action, but it also hides some subtle mechanics that many players miss. Today we're counting down 7 hidden mechanics in Battlefield 6 that actually work, from 7 down to 1. These are real features or tricks confirmed by developers. Each one can give you a serious edge on the battlefield. Let's jump in. Stealthy players, this one's for you. Did you know you can open doors and gates silently in Battlefield 6? Instead of barging through with loud creak, you can aim down sights, look through your gun scope while you interact with the door. Players discovered that aiming and opening at the same time makes the door open slowly without any noise. This quiet entry means you won't give away your position with a squeaky door sound. It's an officially working trick in the game, even if it's not mentioned in any tutorial. Sneaking up behind enemies or cleaning buildings become much safer when they don't hear you coming. Use this silent door opening method when flanking or clearing a building. For example, if you know enemies are inside the room, ADS and open the door slowly. You can catch them off guard since they won't hear the door. This hiding mechanics is especially useful in close quarters or when you're trying to play ninja and avoid alerting the entire enemy's team. Give it a try next time you're on stealth mission. Sliding is a great way to move fast and dodge bullets, but by the default the game makes you to double tap the crouch button to slide. That can feel clunky when every millisecond counts. Here's a hiding mechanic in the settings. You can bring the slide action to its own key. Battlefield 6 actually lets you map slide to a single button. By doing this, you no longer need multiple key press, one tap and you're sliding instantly. This affects gameplay by making your movement more responsive. With a single key slide, you can dip in and out of cover or zigzag to evade fire much more easily. It's not a cheat or exploit, it's an option many players overlook. Some guides have highlighted this trick because it gives a clear mobility advantage in close quarters and when evading enemy fire. Go into a keybinding setting and assign slide to a dedicated key. For example, a side mouse button or an extra key that's easy to press while sprinting. Some players even bind slide to the same key as crouch, with the game smartly making you slide when sprinting and crouch when standing still. The result? You will execute slides more reliably without fumbling. Use this to break enemies' aim. Slide between cover or circle around opponents. You will be a harder target to hit, and you will feel the difference in how smoothly you can move on the battlefield. If you play the Assault class, you have a gadget that most players underestimate, the Assault ladder. It might sound weird, but this portable ladder is a game changer for mobility. According to an official Battlefield post, the Assault ladder can also be used as a ramp depending on placement angle. It's meant to provide your team access to higher ledges and new points of entry. In practice, this means you can deploy the ladder to climb up walls, reach rooftops, or even span gaps. It basically lets you and your squad access unobvious positions that enemies won't expect. This hidden mechanics is actually documented by devs. However, many players ignore the ladder in favor of more obvious gadgets. It really affects gameplay by enabling vertical flanks. You can get a vantage point above objectives or sneak into windows that's otherwise unreachable. Clever use of the ladder can outsmart opponents who assume they are safe from certain angles. If you're playing an assault, always take the assault ladder. You can use it to climb roofs or windows and surprise enemies. Put the ladder at an angle to make a ramp. This helps you or your team to get over walls or broken parts of the map. After using it, don't forget to pick it up or destroy it, so enemies can use it after you. Many players equip suppressors expecting total stealth. Yes, a suppressor hides the muzzle flash and normally keeps you off the minimap when you fire. But here's a hidden nuance. If you shoot too close to an enemy about 15 meters or closer, you will still show up on their minimap. In other words, Battlefield 6 has a built-in range limit for suppressor stealth. A community guide confirms that firing with a suppressor disables the usual spotting ping on the minimap, but within roughly 15 meters your position will still appear. It's a subtle mechanic likely derived from how the developers balance stealth play. They don't want suppressors to be overpowered point blank. How it affects the gameplay? If you saw you were completely hidden just because you're using a silenced weapon, you might be in for a surprise. Enemies close by can still detect you on their huge when you firing. Many experienced players learn this through testing and shared it on forums, noting that suppressors are highly effective for staying hidden at a distance, but not foolproof up close. This isn't spelled out in the game description, so it catches a lot of people off guard. Use suppressors for long-range sneak attacks, but be mindful of that 15-meter rule. If you're sneaking behind someone or you're inside a small room with enemies, don't assume the suppressor will keep you ghosted. In those cases, try to maintain a little distance or eliminate the target quickly. Also combine your suppressor with positioning, shoot and relocate before they pinpoint you. Remember, suppressors reduce your firing signature greatly, but smart enemies will still hunt you if you're way too close. Play it smart and you will get the most out of stealth attachments. The next one feels almost like an exploit, but it's actually an intended interaction. The Recon class scouting drone can detonate mines and explosives remotely. Normally, the Recon drone is used to spot enemies and disable gadgets with EMP pulse. However, players discovered a fairly obscure interaction between Recon drones and enemy explosives. The drone's pulse doesn't just disable mines, it blows them up. As a result, you can trigger a chain reaction of explosions from a safe distance. If enemies or even vehicles are around those mines, boom, free multi-kills. What's wild is how this affects the gameplay. It turns enemy or even friendly mine into deadly traps against their own team. Normally, mines in Battlefield 6 won't hurt the team that plays them. Friendly fire is off by default. But when the drone triggers a mine, the game treats it as an enemy action, so those explosions will shred anyone nearby. As a Recon player, keep an eye out for enemy mines or C4. Fly your FPF drone low to the ground. When you spot a mine, use the drone's interact button to trigger its EMP hack on the explosive. You can clear paths for your friendly vehicles in this way and catch enemy infantry by surprise. For maximum effect, wait until enemies are near their own mine or when a vehicle drives by, then set it off. Just be careful, once these tactics become known, smart engineers start watching the skies for drones. So try to be sneaky with your drone approach. This hiding mechanic comes straight from Battlefield's one design. Sniper rifles in the Battlefield 6 have a sweet spot range for one-shot kills to the body. In other words, each bolt-action sniper rifle does 100 damage, a one-hit kill, only within a specific distance band, not too close, not too far. Outside of that sweet spot range, a body shot will leave the enemy with some health, meaning you will need a follow-up shot. Each sniper rifle in Battlefield 6 has its own sweet spot distance. Fun fact that the game is not showing when a target is in your sweet spot. There is no on-screen indicator for you as a sniper. However, there is a clue for the target. If a sniper is aiming at you and you happen to stand in their sweet spot range, the usual scope gleam, that bright scope reflection, appears as a rainbow-colored glare instead of the normal white. That rainbow gleam is a warning. It signals you could be downed by a single shot to the torso from that sniper. The only exception if the sniper is using iron sight. No scope means no gleam. This mechanic was confirmed through community testing and even mentioned in guides. Because it's not immediately obvious, it anyway hugely affects sniper duels. You should learn the sweet spot of your preferred sniper rifle. This might involve checking community-made charts or guides, since the game doesn't list the exact distance. Once you know, try to engage targets at those optimal ranges for guaranteed one-hit body shots. At number 1, we have a mechanic that can influence every firefight. Suppression. Suppression is when you fire near an enemy to keep their head down. In Battlefield 6, suppressed fire doesn't blur the enemy's screen like older titles, so it might seem useless at first. But here's a crucial hidden effect. A suppressed player cannot begin their nature health regeneration for a short time. In other words, if you lay down fire near an opponent and bullets zip past them, you are actually delaying their ability to heal. Normally, if a soldier avoids taking damage for a few seconds, their health starts regenerating. Suppression prevents that from kicking in. It basically forces wounded enemies to stay vulnerable longer. This was confirmed in both patch notes and community tests. It's a deliberate part of Battlefield 6 designed to make covering fire more tactical. There's no obvious on-screen messages when you suppress someone. However, the suppressed player will see a gray directional indicator flash on their HUD, showing that they are under suppression. This trick is super useful in long fights. If you keep shooting near an enemy, even if you miss, they can heal right away. That gives your team a chance to attack or move forward. Suppression can really change the fight, especially if you're using LMG or other guns for cover fire. So remember, suppression can be just as strong as damage if it's used at the right time. Try using one or two of these tips in your next game. For example, help your team by using suppression fire or change your slide key to move faster. These small tricks will get easier the more you use them. Soon you will start winning fights and staying alive more, just because you know these secret moves, like climbing with a ladder or spotting rainbow sniper glare before it's too late. Now it's your turn to use these tips and get better in Battlefield 6. If this video helped you, press like and subscribe for more guides. Do you know other hidden mechanics we didn't talk about? Leave a comment and share them with everyone. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the battlefield.